let's start with the longest part, which is the follow-up to the bricks and minifigs.
Well,
Jesus Christ, you're so loud, Charlie. Okay. Oh, fuck off. Oh, so yeah, just the pause version of that doesn't work. Okay, whatever.
Well, it looks like the Lego scandal is finally reaching its conclusion in what has been an extraordinary case filled to the brim with corruption, confusion, more going on than Game of Thrones.
Honestly.
It looks like it's in the end game now. Bricks and Minifigs is forever going to be a name that lives in infamy, I imagine, from this point forward. Reckless Ben was muzzled and unable to release Part 3 for a while, but he recently had the ball gag taken out of his mouth, so he has been able to drop Part 3.
The visual.
Buckle your seatbelts. It's a wild ride.
I'm about to go to court, and I don't even know what I did wrong.
Right now, I kind of don't even know what I'm being charged for because all of the body cam footage has been redacted, and they say it's to protect the victims. However, I think there are some redactions that maybe don't make sense and that weren't to protect the victims, and there's some things being said about me that are redacted I don't know about.
So Ben requested the court audio, so this is real court audio that he had an animator make visuals for. Ben is representing himself here.
That's baller.
Like the biggest
and dumb
blunder historically. That is usually ill-advised, not just from like legal experts, but basically anyone would tell you that representing yourself is a death sentence. You get bent over, they spank your cheeks red. A bold move from Ben here to Phoenix Wright for himself. He is now
absolutely.
He doesn't know what he's being charged with because a lot of redactions are.
You know what they say about the man who represents themselves, right? I don't, actually. I just heard that line several times. Anyway.
Are in place.
I do have some concern in this case with the defendant representing himself. The allegations here relate to the fact that the defendant, he's a person he's a YouTuber, who creates videos, publishes them online, and has been, if this defendant were to represent himself and we were to provide body cams and discovery, we would be now providing additional information and fodder for this defendant to create videos from which he could profit by placing them on YouTube at the expense of our victim. I have serious concerns for that.
Say it with your chest, why don't you? Oh my god. Any more ums and likes? Are you currently shitting your pants? Come on, Junior, let's go.
Yeah, the state of Utah is claiming that if they tell me what I'm being accused of, then I'll use it for content on my YouTube channel. And they can't have that. They're arguing to the judge that the best thing to do is to not let me know what's being said about me, which is very strange, but that's their argument.
Now, you'll be shocked to hear this. I hope you're sitting down, because if not, it's going to knock.
You're being charged with a crime. What crime? What do you mean? I don't know. You're being mean. Being mean isn't a fucking crime. Trying to solve somebody's problem isn't a crime, and as long as you do it the way Ben did it, at least from the perspective we got. Anyway, we went through this in the big long video I already posted, but anyway, yeah.
Knock you off your feet. And I don't know if I've ever actually said this out loud, so brace for impact. I am not a lawyer. I know.
What?
You can quit your screaming, creaming, crying, whining, farting, pooping. It's true.
You don't rock it. Are you telling me he doesn't rock up to court in the white t-shirt and basketball shorts and the hair down and all that? Aw. I thought he was a lawyer on the weekends.
So I truly don't understand this argument that had they told him or gave him the information for what he's being charged with or what's being said about him, it would be dangerous because he's representing himself, and as a YouTuber, that would be giving him fodder for YouTube content. That feels like a big fucking stretch. So because he has a YouTube channel and he's made content around this case, They now believe they can just withhold information related to his legal matter here because what if he makes content out of it? Like it's the fucking boogeyman or something. Like, oh, he's gonna Gangnam Style on our victims and trample all over them with YouTube.
Oh no, he's gonna take everything we said and make us look bad. We can't have that. That's essentially what it is. It's, oh, we can't let this corruption out into the world. We can't let them know what we've been doing. We absolutely not. And we can't let him make content on it because that would be really bad. This whole thing has just been stupid and pointless.
YouTube videos that are mean. Thus, we can't give him any information about what he's being charged with or what's being said about him. I don't really understand it. I don't know if this is standard procedure, because if that's the case, couldn't you make that argument for anyone that has like any social media, which is basically everyone on the planet at this point? Yeah, we've decided that it's too dangerous to be giving information to this individual here because they have a TikTok account. They might say some nasty things on there, and we'd just be giving them fodder. I'm assuming it's because he's defending himself that they're able to try and make this argument. Had he had a lawyer, I imagine this shit wouldn't fly. But I'm just spitballing here. I don't really know. I don't really get this stance that they're trying to take about it.
The court's inclined to sign this pretrial protective order unless you have an objection to it, Mr. Schneider, and the objection to such an order.
Yes, I think there's a bunch of misunderstandings in this case, and so this person doesn't want to get exposed, so he's making up a lot of lies about me to order to like get me arrested before he gets exposed. So that's what this whole thing's about.
However, before I was allowed to show any of the overwhelming evidence I have to support my claims, the judge didn't care about the evidence and signed the protective order anyways.
Mr. Schneider, the court's going to sign this order and serve it upon you.
So the court has made it clear. They do not want to look at the evidence, and they want to protect Josh and Brandon for some reason.
I think it's more
What?
so the consequence of not having an actual lawyer to represent Ben here, if I'm being honest. I think had he had an actual legal representative instead of trying to just, you know, fucking white knuckle it and do it himself, like grit his teeth and defend himself, this probably would have gone differently. I think had a lawyer been there, they probably wouldn't have been able to make that argument about, like, we have to ensure he doesn't get more content morsels, more content crumbs. Like, I think having a lawyer would have been extraordinarily helpful here in this case.
So
Yeah, having a lawyer there would have made it. The lawyer can do that legal speak, you know, like you can hear the argument that Ben is making, but it coming from his mouth just sounds like, but he was doing a bad thing, and now he's trying to silence me. It sounds like he's just whining about it. But a lawyer would have been able to take what he was trying to say and, you know, make it lawyer it up and make it sound a lot better, and it probably would have worked out in his favor.
this whole mess is happening in American Fork, Utah. But I'm also being charged with another case in Provo, Utah. This is where corporate bricks and minifigs is, which is why I'm also being charged here. And this police department has surprisingly actually followed the law when it comes to discovery, and they sent me all the raw body cam footage of what I'm being charged for.
Like $200,000 worth of Legos in your store?
Never happened.
But the CEO did not want to take the opportunity to do the right thing, and instead instantly called the cops on us.
Hi there, I'm calling to report a crime.
They themselves say, hey, you guys stole this product from this person. If you don't give it back, I'm going to burn the place down. Or we're going to burn the place down. Or I'll kill you. It's Ben Snyder who's been the one engaged in this behavior.
You can see in the police report that the crime he wanted to get us charged for is called extortion, which basically means we're threatening him into paying us, which is very illegal. However, obviously he's just making all of this up. The reality is, I just thought it was a nice gesture to give him the opportunity to do the right thing first.
If you guys do have our Legos, we just kind of want them back, you know? And
Holy Toledo, man. Heavens to Betsy.
Yeah, perfect words to use. It's the blatant just making shit up. Like, what is so, like, we would, of course, in the last video, we went and we saw all the prices of all these Lego sets. Like, sure, this collection is very valuable, but why are we making such a big deal about it? Like, what is the point of hiding all that? Because sure, you look bad if you admit it, but at least if you wouldn't have doubled and tripled and quadrupled down on it, and you would have admitted it much earlier, you wouldn't look so bad. But now you just look like you're just terrorizing somebody who's just trying to get the truth and trying to get somebody justice. You're actually evil. This company is evil. And I don't understand why they're being so fucking petty about it. It just doesn't make any sense to me. I really hope that by the end of this, we figure out why. Just why? Why are we acting like this?
Is such a slimy twerp, just a fucking sniveling dweeb, bro. He is the epitome of dork. This guy is a wedgie magnet. So this is something else that Ben is now having to contest with here. And you can hear immediately after that first interaction where Ben went to Ammon, the head of all of this, to try and like say, hey, this is what's going on. This is what we believe is happening. Will you work with us? Give the Legos back, that kind of thing. And Ammon, you know, instantly put up a stink like, nope, not happening. Scram, take a hike, Buster, get out of here. And then he goes inside, instantly calls the police and says that they're threatening to burn the place down or I'll kill you.
Oh, that was right after? Oh, I didn't realize that was right after. Oh, I didn't put that together. Ooh, that's fake as fuck, dude. That's shady as shit.
And is trying
what
to
the
charge
fuck?
them with extortion. What? What? I mean, that's classic Ammon McNeff fashion at this point. This guy is like dangerously delusional. He probably went out there and just heard, like when Ben was talking, just heard like Charlie Brown's parents, and then just made up this whole fanfic in his head. This guy must have come here to threaten to kill me. Yep, time to report him to the police. What a maniac. And great news.
What a goober.
Minifigs fans and employees and customers. This is who's running the business, by the way. This is who is at the top of the food chain, sitting on the throne at Bricks and Minifigs. A guy who, if you take a problem to him, might turn around and call the police and accuse you of threatening to kill him and try and charge you with extortion if you have an
actually
issue
wild.
Trying to directly communicate with him to get it solved amicably. I mean, dropping the sarcasm, that should very clearly send a pretty concerning message to anyone that does business with Bricks and Minifigs, right? Like, it has to. So now, Ben talks about how his plan was to go to the police about Ammon McNeff falsifying this report about him, because he has all of the footage, all of the raw footage to prove he never threatened to burn the business down or kill him or anything like that. So he made a case against Ammon McNeff about this. He submitted all of his footage to prove his claim. Apparently he even had access to Ammon's evidence, which was basically it was just a bunch of barnacles. It was just straight up horseradish. So his plan was to open a case against Ammon McNeff for this hogwash.
My name is Ben Schneider. A couple months ago, I made a case, and you were the officer that was helping me create it. I submitted a bunch of evidence through a link you sent me, and this was a couple months ago, and I haven't heard anything back. And so I'm just calling to see if I can get some type of update on how the case is going.
We're sorry, your call cannot be completed.
Yeah.
Oh, of
literally,
course.
No matter what I tried, I could not get a hold of this police officer. Eventually, I did find an answer. They sent it to me in the mail, and looks like I was right. The police only had time to take on one of our cases. And
Hello?
hold of this police officer. Eventually, I did find an answer. They sent it to me in the mail, and looks like I was right. The police only had time to take on one of our cases. And
Okay, I can read and take context clues, I guess. They only said no, don't want your mountain of evidence, and took Ammon's side. Oh,
So Ben
okay.
was trying every option imaginable to get in touch with the officer that helped him set up the case in the first place and put it into the system. He even went to the department in person. There was another officer on the phone that reached Ben, telling him that the officer he's looking for isn't there, and she can't provide any updates about that case or anything, which meant Ben still had no answers or communication from the authorities on what's going on with the case, so he left with his dick in his hand and nothing to show for it, until the Ammon McNeff toilet paper floated in through the mail there, apparently. And again, I think this is probably due to lack of lawyer. I imagine had a lawyer set this up, like went through this case with Ben and put it into the system with the authorities, they probably wouldn't be able to just fucking brush him off like that, because there is very real, very compelling, very substantial evidence from Ben's camp proving that he never threatened Ammon McNeff's life or anything like that. So had a lawyer been with Ben, I imagine they would have been able to actually, get this to where it needed to go. Whereas Ben taking it all into his palm meant that they could get away with just giving him the runaround here, the fucking reach around. And I do agree with the sentiment a lot of people have been expressing, that had Ben had a lawyer or even just like a legal person to consult with, there probably
Even
would
that,
have been
yeah.
a lot more points throughout this story that there would have been a big W here, like an actual ability to stop some things from spiraling out of control, like what's happened here. And I recognize that it's not exactly like a financially viable thing all the time, but with Ben's like freedom in jeopardy, it's probably worthwhile to explore the option, especially with how big this story got. I'm sure there were some lawyers that were willing to actually fight with Ben here for
Come on.
not something super unreasonable, if I had to guess. And I think it could have been extremely helpful in actually like stopping a lot of the bricks and minifigs hoopla.
Okay, and honestly, he probably just could have reached out to any YouTube lawyer. Any YouTube lawyer, fucking legal mindset. Anybody probably would have at least counseled him and at least given him words to say, if not showed up in person. I seriously don't understand the not reaching out to a lawyer at all. And now we're just not getting audio again. Cool. Neat. Okay. I guess I had to comment over this, so because we're not getting any audio. Ah, fuck.
No extortion code that would fit your situation. However, at the end of the day, we do want to help you guys, having to deal with this fool and all of his issues.
All of his
I did find that
issues.
there was another code that fit, and it's called aggravated commercial obstruction.
Come on, how is that permissible? This is just blatant, bare naked corruption here. So this is an officer here. She's saying, yeah, so couldn't really, ham fist extortion here. It didn't really fit the criteria, but we want to help you guys because this fool, this fucking clown, right? Like, I know he's so annoying. Ugh. So, with a little bit of mental gymnastics and a tad bit of elbow grease here, we do have something that can maybe fit here called aggravated commercial obstruction. So they're just doing everything they can to help Ammon here, help the corporations instead of the civilian here who has real evidence to prove their innocence against these claims. The authority here, the officer on the phone, she even says, yeah, it doesn't match your accusation of extortion. So how about we change your accusation a bit so that way we can make it work? That's fucked up. Why are they doing that? Why are you going out of your way to try and make a case for this guy who has already just showed that he was wrong about an accusation? So he's been proven liar, plants for hire, and now you have gone out of your way to blatantly state that you want to help him, help them, the corporation, yeah, the good guys, by the way. So now you have found something that can maybe fit here for them to utilize as a weapon against them. That shouldn't be allowed. That's fucking crazy.
However, the tricky thing is that we have to prove that This individual either entered or remains unlawfully on the premise. When he came to the property, did you have to ask him more than once to leave?
Yes.
Okay.
Bullshit.
Get it? And he's like, no. Like,
That is the tricky thing, isn't it, officer? So luckily she was helping Ammon build the case here on this new claim that has been pulled out of her ass in order to fit Ammon McNeff's desires to have been arrested or punished legally as much as possible. And the lawyer is more than happy to oblige. I don't know if this, the officer. It's basically Ammon McNeff's lawyer at this point, to be honest. The way she's fighting for him. So now, talking about like how when he was asked to leave, Ben and his team refused to. So Ben showed evidence that the first time they came around, when the conversation had progressed to the point where they said that you'll need to take it up with someone else, they left without issue. The second time he came back, you're about to see that Ammon asked him to leave in the middle of a conversation while Ben was still speaking, and then continued the conversation with Ben. So he didn't leave after that first one because the conversation continued, but then when Ammon asked him again at the end to leave, they did leave without issue.
To Ammon's credit, about halfway through the conversation, he did say that if we don't leave, he's going to call the cops on us.
You can leave. If you come back here, we will call the cops. If you don't leave right now, I will call the cops.
So you don't want to do the easy way?
And this is right after I told him you could do it either the easy way and just give us the Legos back, or we can do it the
This
hard
is
way
probably
and
what
find
he
that
has
we would take it to court.
insinuated.
So you're threatening me.
I'm not threatening. We're right. Like we have a right to the Legos, so we're gonna get them the easy way or the hard way.
What proof of ownership have you provided to me that you own this Lego?
I mean, I can give you proof if you want.
Great, provide proof.
But right after he says this, he's now asking us to provide him proof that we actually are entitled to these Legos, so we can't leave now because he just told us to stay and provide proof. And then at the very end of the conversation, he says this one more time.
Okay, you've been asked to leave. Please leave.
We have to leave? Okay. Well, thank you for working with us, and so see you later.
But now let's hear how Ammon describes it to the police.
guys, at this point, I've asked you to leave. Please leave. Well, you have to listen to us. You have to pay us this money. No, guys, you need to leave, and you're not leaving. But I asked multiple times, you did not leave.
Looks like that might be a second-degree felony. He's facing felony charges. It is a felony?
The officer can't even hide her giggle. You can literally hear her smile through the phone
Oh
here
my
because she gets to
God.
do something good for Ammon McNeff. Let's go! I don't get it. Why is she kind of giddy about it? That's fucking wild to me. So yeah, the first time he was asked to leave,
Are you getting commission on this arrest? Like the more serious the charges? Like what is this? Like I think the most a cop can do in that situation is be like, oh, excuse me. It doesn't seem like this crime happened. It seems like maybe more of this, but you'll have to take it up in court if you want, or like a civil court if you want to do that. I don't think a cop can be like, yeah, no, this doesn't seem like this. It seems more like this, so we're gonna go ahead and charge him with this instead. I don't know if that's how that works, but that seems super fucked up. Like, you watch body cam videos and you see good cops, and then you're like, oh, cool, not all of them are bad. And then you see shit like this, and it's just like, what are we fucking doing? Makes me not trust any fucking body. I don't like this shit.
as he was
It's gross.
talked about the easy way, hard way thing, which we saw in the initial video, the first part. And then he talked about, all right, we'll provide proof. So, like, he continued the conversation. So I understand, like, yeah, he was asked to leave and didn't instantly leave, but also Ammon continued the conversation. And then when he did ask the second time, they left. Like, they didn't put up a stink about it. They left. And from all of the available evidence here, it doesn't seem like they made some kind of crazy stance like, no, we're not leaving, or anything like the way Ammon is describing it. But now the officer is going to be working off that claim from someone who has already been proven incorrect with their extortion claim. It's a little weird, right? I mean, that's a little fishy. This is what everyone has been saying. The way that the police department here in the area is handling this case is very fucking peculiar. From all the body cam that
Super
we've seen,
sketchy.
the way they interact with the bricks and minifigs top brass, it's very chummy and it's very fucking odd. Like, it does feel extremely corrupt. Now, in the next section, it's focusing a little bit on how Ammon McNeff always falls back onto the world's smallest violin. Oh, I don't understand. Oh, goodness, we're doing everything we can to work with you guys. Come on, we're just asking for some proof. Then every time proof is trying to be provided, they were getting like ghosted and stuff. Then also trying to communicate via email to get the inventory from Bricks and Minifigs was a complete fucking disaster across the board. That was a big old hot potato that just, shit was too steamy. Hot tub was too hot. So, like, just this big mess. So Ammon McNeff always says things about, like, we're trying to get this fixed. We're doing everything. We're the good guys. Why don't you understand that? But, oh my goodness. Oh.
Getting worked up there, buddy.
Sound like Ammon McNeff just hurt my throat. But the point is, he says these things, but the actions throughout this entire thing don't corroborate that. It seems like he has put up a big old fuss every step of the way and has not been overly communicative nor overly amenable to trying to get this whole situation fixed or solved or even like really look into it at all.
Store figured out what was part of his collection, taken inventory and shown him that inventory to offer that.
We've tried to share those with Mr. Mansell in hopes that he can see, you know, like that we were not attempting in any way, shape, or form to withhold anything. Those then were offered to him, and the initial offer was rejected. One priority right now is to ensure that he gets made whole. We know that we have a responsibility to work with him to make sure he does get made whole.
So you've offered Brian the inventory of sets that was in the store.
Yeah, whatever was left over, we've offered that on multiple occasions. So we've tried to make multiple offers, and hopefully we'll be able to get them to the table so we can discuss it.
I still can't get...
Meanwhile, dude, behind the scenes, you're trying to get him arrested for extortion and getting different charges because it's... Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh my God! I wanna rip his twirly little mustache off his fucking little face.
Get over Ammon McNeff's humiliation ritual that he is still in the midst of. So like he always tries to say like how hard he's tried to work with Brian and doing everything he can for Brian. I mean he's the belle of the ball. We have to do everything, and we know that at Bricks and Minifigs we value our customers so much that we want to do everything we can to fuck them in the face when things go wrong. Like he's publicly
trying
to
say, sounds like
this is what we're doing to try and make them whole. It's, you know, of the utmost importance, but all of the actions that they actually take outside of his lip service indicate the opposite. Like it's important we remember they are actively in a lawsuit that names Brian Mansell in a $1.3 million lawsuit, by the way. So you care so much about making him whole that you'll go through an aggressive legal strategy in order to fucking smite him, huh, Ammon? Is that right?
Unfortunately, Bricks and Minifigs has chosen to deflect and dodge responsibility at most opportunities and created a really awful customer experience that has snowballed into this crazy series of events. But instead of taking accountability for that, they've taken an aggressive legal strategy, which I told you personally was a horrible idea. As of writing this, Brian Mansell is being sued for $1.3 million as part of a legal campaign against him and Reckless Ben and any of the associates. Remember, Brian is the same guy who lost all these Legos at Bricks and Minifigs store. And I told the CEO and COO that's ridiculous and they should drop this.
But go on, Ammon, about how much you care about Brian and ensuring that he gets what he's owed so this can all be made right, while also
getting what he's owed. Oh, we're gonna stick it to him in court. That's what he's owed, apparently.
Him, you dirty rat, you little bastard, you. Classic Ammon McNeff.
The entire time we were saying, hey, we want to help, we want to help.
The main narrative now seems to be Bricks and Minifigs has always been trying to give Brian his Legos back, but Brian just never wanted them back.
Would you be willing to just take this? And the answer was no. It was attempted to be given to the family, and it was refused.
They made the offer and said, hey, you can have all this. And that offer was not accepted at the time.
Well, that's Ammon's side of the story, but I say let's take a look at what actually happened.
Read from the bottom up. That is our correspondence with Bricks and Minifigs, trying to work with them and getting the sets back.
So right when this happened, Brian hired an attorney to reach out to Bricks and Minifigs. They sent an email saying, how should we proceed to retake the possession of the sets/minifigures? And they actually emailed back saying they were willing to help. And then after this, they just never respond. So Brian's attorney sent them another email.
No
Just following
shit.
up on this, when can we pick up the sets? And they still didn't respond.
No shit.
So the attorneys emailed back saying, it's now been 16 days. How can we get these Legos back? And finally, they received a response.
It says Brandon Best and Joshua Johnson have no legal obligation to return any of the Lego product that exists in their store to you. What?
Surprise! Wow! My jaw was on the floor. You mean that they were not actually willing to work with Brian? Despite what Ammon McNeff said, but he said so.
We weren't surprised. We're just disappointed. we're just disappointed.
What do you mean that the proof contradicts that statement? That's so weird, man. You calling Ammon McNeff a liar? I don't know about that. What's next? You gonna tell me dog shit smells like poop or something? So yeah, anyway, Ammon can say all he wants, keep flapping his gums about how hard they've tried to work with him, but all the evidence seems to point to that just not being true at all. So like, Brian is now showing the correspondence where they were actively trying to get these Lego sets back, and in classic Bricks and Minifigs fashion, just getting ghosted, just met with crickets. And then eventually, when they did get communication, they put up this strong stance about like, there's no legal obligation, by the way. So, go kick dirt, pussy.
Exactly.
They finished this email saying, we consider this matter closed and will not be returning any Lego products to you. So as you can see, that's
What
the reality of
the
what actually
fuck?
happened. But then Ammon goes on Fox News and says this.
So they actually did have an attorney send information to us. We said, great, appreciate this. Let's see what we can do to work this out. And then we never heard back.
Telling lies, Ammon?
Sounds like what you did to them. Are you confused on who you are in the situation? Do you think you're Brian? What the fuck?
Yes, Papa. Yikes, dude. Again, I don't know why Ammon keeps doing all these interviews when there is plenty of information to instantly contradict his statements. He himself contradicts his statements. He is always flip-flopping and just looking like a damn fool. But he keeps doing it. And this is what CoffeeZilla was saying in his video. There have been mistakes on all sides for how this case has been handled. But
absolutely,
it is a masterclass in deflection and bad decisions from Bricks and Minifigs that has just completely torched their entire brand and reputation because of this unwillingness to actually try and get things solved. Instead, they go for these aggressive legal routes that are just overly strong, heavy-handed, that instill just not actually working to try and get the core problem solved, which is a customer took a massive Lego collection to a Bricks and Minifigs because they trusted them to do it correctly. Things went tits up, and then when they tried to get things solved, get it fixed, Bricks and Minifigs wasn't open to it and wasn't actually able to work with them in any meaningful capacity and became combative, aggressive. There was also right away that, what was his name? Key, whatever the fuck his name was, making like threats about how they'll like draw this out in court and you'll lose more than you would have ever gained, that kind of thing. So like, again, there were mistakes handled across the board, but Bricks and Minifigs, I believe, bears most of the blame because this could have been solved so long ago if they were just,
like I said earlier, like sure, the initial save face, whatever business bullshit, but if they would have backed down and just admitted they were wrong and given the shit back so much earlier, we wouldn't be here. Like, sure, you'd probably lose some of your customers, but at least you'd still have most of your customer base. At this point, everyone knows that you're just a piece of shit. What the fuck was the point of doing all this?
Open to at least reading the fucking inventory that they had access to for the longest time and trying to figure out, okay, what's where. The previous franchisee, Crystal, what did she sell and forget to mark down and that kind of thing. Like, what, actually dive into it and solve it. But they just refused, and instead they went this nuclear option. And in doing so, they've been caught in so many lies themselves that make the entire company look bad. So it's just, it was so easily avoidable, I feel, given the scale of this company, a mega corporation here. They make multi-millions, raking in tons of clams. This was something they could have probably handled promptly. But instead, they chose this. It's so weird.
I'm now starting to think that the only reason Ammon wanted us to email him about the inventory list wasn't actually give us the inventory list, but actually it was a trap. Yeah, Ammon only wanted me to email him so he can find out my email and subpoena Google and find out all of my private information. And you think I'm lying, but they actually did this. They subpoenaed Google asking for all private information tied to this email address. And Google sent them like hundreds of hours of all the raw footage from everything I've filmed.
They actually did it?
All my emails, all my search history, all the metadata that shows everywhere I've been. But anyways, this was the reaction of the police officer.
They were looking for literally anything they could to salvage how shitty they have been. What the fuck, dude? That's wild. I can believe it at this point, but that's fucking insane.
After she watched my entire first episode.
I'm really curious to see like if this fool even makes any money doing this YouTube stuff. I'm like, if it's enough for him to travel.
I didn't even know you could do that. So the police department here subpoenaed Google to get all of the information from that email address, like everything that had ever filtered through it through Google's systems. And now one of the officers has like watched some of the footage and is talking shit like it's a League of Legends lobby here. Like, does this fool even make any money, you think? Like, he's able to travel? So now she's just like gossiping here.
To another state just to go get some footage. It doesn't even sound like his like secret information doesn't even seem credible from my understanding.
No, so it sounds like you were able to watch the video.
I think by secret information, the police officer is referring to the security camera footage that proves that everything Bricks and Minifigs is saying is a lie.
It really does seem like they're best buddies here. It smells, kind of reeks of something fishy afoot.
It's the fucking Mormons, like I said last time. They're all Mormons, god damn it.
It's very peculiar.
Oh!
Dang.
Okay.
You can shut the fuck up. That's your fucking choice.
Bricks and Minifigs is also getting me for RICO charges.
They're charging Reckless Ben for RICO. I think it is more likely that the police are guilty of RICO, right?
And if you look at the CEO's previous businesses, he actually got sued for RICO. He's the one guilty of RICO, not me. They're also accusing me of sending a sniper to shoot out the windows of the McNeff house.
You guys want to come to, you can see the window and see where they were shooting from. It could be a sniper blade on the hill.
When the police got there, they realized it was actually a construction worker who accidentally shattered the window.
It seems more likely that it happened from construction work than it happened from some random people across the way.
Holy shit, Ben recruited a sniper to blast them? Oh no, hit the deck. Like, this is craziness, right? Like, this is actual craziness. And yes, McNeff does have a very shady history. It's something that I haven't even really touched on all that much. But yeah, his history is quite unsavory. And the fucking sniper thing is wild. Like, they just throw the kitchen sink at him. Like, these outrageous accusations here. Oh yeah, it might have been a sniper up on the hill that blew out this fucking window, by the way.
That's
and then
insane.
They go, it's like, no, I don't think it was, actually.
But even after all this, they still go online and say it was me.
I want us to take a deeper look at this post here from Dan McNeff to really
Okay, he's gonna read it
for a second, because it's quite a wild one. Today's version of a lynch mob could very well be YouTube investigators. At 1.6 years ago, I was the CEO of Bricks and Minifigs. My sons illegally removed me from that position and sued me for control of another company I founded. This is what I'm talking about, man. Ammon, like, they are shady people. Like, they are real, like, Ammon is a fucking worm, dude. So, like, even his dad has been on the receiving end of his diabolical rampage of filth.
Even your own father.
I've had nothing to do with Bricks and Minifigs since then. Regardless of this, in the last 10 days, I've been given multiple death threats, and 2 days ago, we saw people viewing our home from a hill behind our home with binoculars, and they shot out a big picture window that will cost thousands to replace. Which, as we've seen on body cam, the authorities did go out there and investigate, and they said, no, It was probably a construction worker that blew this bitch out here. I don't think it was fucking simple with an op over there sniping you from across the way. And yet he's still going out here and saying like, they fucking blasted out our window, those scoundrels. And then goes on to say like how these locations are independently owned and operated and don't deserve to be hurt, which is something I've talked about. The Bricks and Minifigs locations, these franchisees out there, don't have anything to do with like what's happening in this case in particular. They are also probably just as upset as everyone else because that is really hurting their business because now no one is trusting Bricks and Minifigs, rightfully so, because the corporation, like the actual meat of it, the headquarters, have proven to be very unsavory and very untrustworthy, and that is hurting the normal people that operate some of these locations, and that fucking sucks. I feel terrible for them because it's not like they're doing anything that is encouraging the Bricks and Minifigs corporate behavior. They just happen to be franchisee owners across the country that are getting hurt here. And I think most people recognize that those are unrelated. But there are, of course, some people that don't. And I've talked about that too, where some people are going into random Bricks and Minifigs and just fucking fighting everyone. Like,
we saw a video
throwing hands and knuckle sandwiches. So yeah, there are some people that are a little lost in the sauce there. But on the whole, I think most people recognize that this is a corporate, like Bricks and Minifigs thing, and specific to those franchisees thing. But anyway, the father going out there and like saying, you know, all of this, it is still a wild statement. And also even shows that Ammon McNeff, like, he is got a very not good past too.
So, just to let you know, we call it a double blind. The person who committed the crime may or may not be in the lineup or depicted. So I will give this to you. You'll have as much time as you need to choose someone or to not choose anyone. Whenever you're able to feel that you have ID'd somebody, I just ask that you
we're doing a lineup.
And then, like that?
Perfect.
Okay. There you go. Okay.
Cool.
Really, this was like the final step that I needed. This is legit. We've been able to verify who he is now.
Yep.
So the police put on this big performance to make it look like they're going to all this work to verify the facts. When in reality, they already know who I am. They already subpoenaed Google. They already watched my entire first Lego video. They already went through all my search history. To me, this just feels like a staged performance so they can show the world, hey, look, we verified everything, when if they would have just put an equal amount of effort into watching the raw footage I submitted to them, they would have found out that Ammon's just completely lying to them, but for some reason they didn't.
I think that's a totally fair and legitimate thing to point out. They went through the ringer for Ammon McNeff. They did everything they could to appease him while seemingly giving no time to Ben's evidence that he submitted. He got no communication with them past the initial case and submitting all of his footage and everything. They never did anything with Ben to work with him from all the available evidence, yet they did so much for Ammon, even going as far as to help him change his claim because his first one was fucking bogus. It was way off. So instead, they gave him a different thing to go for instead. Like, they are doing so much working directly with Ammon while seemingly being like best buddies. Smells kind of corrupt if you ask me. Why did they not do anything with Ben's evidence or Ben's case or work with him? And yes, I agree, like, you can chalk that up to Ben not having a lawyer, but it also doesn't seem like Ammon is bringing his lawyer to these things either.
Him not having a lawyer shouldn't really have anything. Like, sure, it's dumb. It's ill-advised is a better way to put it. But, I mean, the fact that he doesn't have a lawyer shouldn't be the reason why all this is going down. This is just because this community is tied together and they all have each other's backs, and it's corrupt, and they're getting one side of the story while disregarding the other because they're a community.
Like, they are talking directly to Ammon himself, not Ammon's legal representative. So why are they willing to extend this courtesy of working directly with Ammon but not directly with Ben? It is fucking weird. That is very odd.
A few weeks later, when I ended up going to court, this was the state's response.
My name is Nick Mielstein. I'm the prosecutor. Is Benjamin Schneider here?
Yes.
If you want to take care of that today, we can do what we call a plea in abeyance.
Were you able to see the footage I submitted to the police of our interaction?
I have not watched it, no.
Okay, because in that footage, you can clearly see that the second he tells us to leave, where we say, okay, we'll leave. And then he calls the police and said that we threatened to burn down the building and shoot everyone inside. And he was just making up all these lies, which you can clearly see in the footage that we submitted. We were being respectful the whole time. We left the second he told us to.
Sorry, let me look.
And so it makes sense why the police would take me to court, because, I mean, he's threatening that we're going to burn down the building and shoot everyone, but we did nothing. Like, he's just saying that because he's trying to. I'm a documentary maker, so I'm making a documentary on the thing. So his logic is if he throws me in jail, then if he makes up a reason for me to go to jail, then I won't be able to expose them for their crimes. So that's the what's going on. It's clear as day in the footage if you watch it. It seems like they're just making up a bunch of false information in order to silence criticism.
The Lego figs are
Submit
nice.
that to the police officer?
Yes.
Is the footage going such that it's still going, like when you step out the door?
It starts from when we're in the elevator before we talk to him to when we were back in the elevator going back down.
Obviously, a video doesn't necessarily show everything that possibly happened.
So according to the
Oh my god! Oh my god! Are we really doing that? We're grasping for straws, and there isn't even a straw to grasp. What the fuck are we doing?
So
Holy
beneficial
fucking
here,
shit!
because Ben does have evidence to prove his side of this story. Ammon has nothing besides his word, which is worthless. That is actually just a little fucking hemorrhoid. His word means nothing. Ben has video evidence, but since Ben is representing himself, it's a little harder for him to make these statements and get this where it needs to go in this system so that it actually leads to...
Ben was being a little rambly. Like, I was kind of cringing a little bit, where he just couldn't figure out how to say what he wanted to say, but he was making a good point, at least.
What it should, which is justice and proving his side here. And that statement there from the opposing side about, well, a video doesn't necessarily show everything that happened is fucking crazy, considering he hasn't even watched the footage yet. Like, they haven't even looked at the footage yet. So why are you already coping? Why are you already making up like this out? It sounds like they probably know that it does show the kind of whole scope of the situation, at least more so than what Ammon is saying. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. And this is where a lawyer would be able to, I imagine, dunk on that.
The state of Utah, the raw video that shows everything that possibly could have happened is not credible and could not have shown everything that possibly could have happened. And they didn't even watch it. They're literally just taking Ammon's word for everything and completely ignoring all the evidence. So where does this leave me now? Not only am I being charged with a bunch of mystery crimes in American Fork, Utah, but I'm also being charged with a second-degree felony up to 15 years in jail in Provo, Utah. And now that they have written proof that I'm committing all of these insane crimes against them, I mean, obviously Bricks and Minifigs just made up everything, but that's not how the court sees it. The court thinks that these are real. And for whatever reason, the court wouldn't let me share my side. They only heard Bricks and Minifigs' side.
Ben's side was not in the room, was not heard. The court signed an order erasing his published work on the strength of the company's verified complaint and the company's motion, with no one there to say a word against it.
That is how it seems. Again, I'm no legal expert, but some legal experts have weighed in and expressed similar sentiment there. It is looking like it is only hearing one side and refusing to engage in even the slightest capacity with Ben's side and look at his evidence. And that's not right. They are only willing to see and hear from one side, no matter how flimsy the evidence provided from that side is. And using the word evidence to describe Ammon McNeff's word about what was said is just gross, because it's not really evidence. He is just lying, provably lying. It's just, it is not fair. It does not feel fair. Now, again, I do think a lawyer would be able to probably do more here, but even still, in what world is that okay that this guy doesn't have a lawyer, so we're just not going to even look at anything that he has? We'll just
Exactly. And I've already made that point too.
Corporation that seems to be real friendly with the police department. They must be the ones that are right, no matter what. And we'll do everything we can, bend over backwards, to ensure that we're fighting for them instead of the little guy. It's just wrong. Now, of course, you can point to some of the stunts that Ben did in some of the videos and say, like, you know, maybe this was pushing it too far, or maybe this was counterproductive to getting things solved. And I think that's a fine critique to have. I think that's very valid. But you should also be able to recognize that he does have very real evidence for his innocence in the face of some of the claims made against him from Bricks and Minifigs that are just outrageous. And those things should be seen, viewed, and actually analyzed by the system here, instead of just rejected based on the merit of his accuser. This corporation, we love those.
When the man doesn't have much merit anyway, he stole a fucking company from his father, and now he's just sitting here just blatantly lying, and we're not even looking at the evidence to prove otherwise. It's actually just bonkers.
Guys, look at how much money they make and how cool they are. So what they say is right. You don't even have a lawyer. We're not even gonna look at your shit. You may have made a case with the police officer here, but we don't even want to look at that. I'm sure he was just, it's stupid. You're dumb. Get out of here. They're right. You're wrong. It's just, that's not how it should be.
I'm right, you're wrong. I'm big, you're small.
I can say whatever I want.
I'm smart, you're dumb.
Sucks. I can say Bricks and Minifigs still should hold people. And look, I just said it. I'm not in jail, which is sick. We got our First Amendment rights back. Yeah.
And now that I have my freedom of speech back, everyone is wondering how Bricks and Minifigs can make up for the fact that they made up all these lies about me to take away my freedom of speech.
They can say that they're sorry by doing the chicken dance. And I will take that as a sincere form of apology. And once they do the chicken dance, then I will know that Bricks and Minifigs is sorry. And we can finally move on to the next video series. It'll be awesome.
So Ben has been able to release this video. He is able to talk about Bricks and Minifigs again, despite earlier being silenced, gagged, and now he's saying
we're
the way
almost
they can
done.
Make it up to him for taking away his freedom of speech is to do the chicken dance to show sincere apology. His reasoning is that they always say these nice things, the right things they'll say, but they never actually do the right thing. So he wants to see their actions reflect it, which is why he wants them to actually do the chicken dance. That's the reason behind it. Now, he didn't really dive into how he got to this point, being able to speak about it now, so I looked into it a little bit. So from what I've read, this case moved up from state to federal court, and in federal court it's very different. So a federal judge came in and ruled that he is allowed to talk about these things because it is a part of commentary and investigative journalism.
I'm
it is
listening. Hang on.
Explicitly commentary and investigative journalism. Thus, he is allowed to say these things and post this video within reason. He can't just say anything at all willy-nilly. It does need to come from a standpoint of being a fucking investigative journalist.
Yes.
He can't just be doing, the most outrageous, over-the-top things and claims about Bricks and Minifigs now or anything like that. But he is able to talk about them again now. It has been amended, which is great. And it does seem like we're reaching the end game here of the Lego scandal. And it is just fucking wild how all of this has been unfolding.
Okay. So, sorry, I had a thought in my head and I was trying to get it. I forgot we were that close to the end. We have one more part, but this has been just an absolute roller coaster. I feel like I should save it until the next part, but I've already said it. If they would have, I can understand. Well, I can't, but I can. If I put myself in their shoes, denying it and trying to figure out all the details before admitting to something is a corporate move. But the fact is that they're double, triple, quadruple, quintuple down and just refuse to admit that a mistake was made and then move forward to fix it. I don't understand I don't understand why we've been shooting ourselves in the foot and progressively farther up the leg. It does not make any sense at all. But let's see what the next part has in store for us.
I gotta tell you, season 31 of my life has been a pretty fun journey, but I didn't expect the writers to go in such a different direction with some of my interests. When they introduced the Lego scandal plot line this year, I would have thought that that'd be something that would have never clicked with me in any way. Maybe I'd read about it and be like, oh, weird, and then just completely forget about it. But man, this plot line for this season has been unbelievable. I have been captivated by every upload in this Reckless Bin vs. Bricks and Minifigs saga. And I think I really have to credit the super strong villains
more?
here. They're just so unbelievably unlikable, just the biggest fucking filthy, greasy dweebs you could possibly envision here for the Lego cartel at Bricks and Minifigs. It's like the Akatsuki from Naruto, but if they were not cool and just extraordinarily pathetic. But honestly, you've got to give the most credit. You got to give the trophy to the main antagonist himself, the boy wonder, Ammon McNeff, aka Ammon McNuts. God gave special care to the creation of Ammon. He said, I'm going to make the perfect twerp. And so he did, and he blessed us all with his presence. Ammon McNeff is like the perfect amalgamation of equal parts delusion
little asshole
and dork. Like, you couldn't... It's the perfect fusion dance of these two qualities rolled up into one guy who loves to twirl his mustache. He takes every opportunity imaginable to publicly beclown himself because he has this humiliation ritual fetish that he's addicted to.
There it is.
And it is just such a treat watching him go to work, man. Like, when he goes out there and flexes his non-existent muscles and just makes a fool of himself for the millionth time, it's just cinema. So, Reckless Bin uploaded a new video which has new body cam footage of, you guessed it, Ammon McNeff looking like an absolute fucking imbecile per usual. And it just showcases how far they wanted to go to keep Reckless Bin in jail and, like, do everything they can to find every trick in the book to silence them and get them thrown in the slammer all over the Bricks and Minifigs videos they were making.
And we're gonna watch it right now.
He came to harass us at our place. He's out of state.
So this is filmed right after I get released from jail the first time, because I got arrested because I was trying to serve them court papers to take them to court. They're just making up reasons for me to be arrested, but then I get out of jail because I paid for bond, I get out of jail, and now Ammon's just calling the police because he's like, you guys let Ben out of jail? Like, what the hell? Like, how could you guys do that? Ben needs to be in jail right now.
I can already just picture the scene in my head in Ammon's office. He's lotioning his shit up, celebrating that Ben's in jail, only to find out a little bit later that he paid for bond and he's out. Fucking flips his table over, he's sweating profusely, squealing. Ah! And so he instantly gets the police on
This is loud. Hang on.
Because I think Ammon McNeff calls the police more than he calls his own family. Like, he is more acclimated to their department than he is his own household, most likely. So he instantly gets them on the horn, starts bitching and moaning, whining. How could you release Ben? Are you out of your minds? This is a terrorist. He is a global threat. You've doomed us all. He walks the streets again. We can't sleep soundly anymore. What have you done?
So he was arrested, and I think he was booked into the Utah County Jail. And he must have been released, even though he's an out-of-state, like, flight risk. He was released, and so he's a YouTuber that does this stuff for videos and clicks.
Okay.
He was arrested in California for doing this kind of trespassing and kind of stuff, like before. I think in 2024.
Right.
My first time getting arrested ever was for serving my
Okay, hang on.
court papers.
My first time ever.
Why don't you fucking cry about it? Which you are. Jesus Christ.
This is my first time ever getting arrested, but I think Ammon's thinking, oh, well, if I lie to the police and make it seem like he's a criminal, maybe they'll just keep him in jail this time, you know?
An excellent strategy from Ammon, a classic in his playbook here, lying. He does love that technique. It's something that he employs often. It's his signature anime finishing move. And it has worked to great success for the most part, unfortunately, even though it is just blatantly, provably false, the vast majority of the things that he tries to vomit out of his gullet there. So now he's telling this officer, hey, this guy's been arrested before, what are you doing? He's got to go back. So take him back to the slammer, please. And Reckless Bin's setting the record straight. No, he did not get arrested prior to serving those court papers. That was his first time. So I guess Ammon McNeff is just wrong about that. He's just pulling things
He's making
out of his
shit up.
filthy, stinky little ass.
So that's what's happening. And so, but we like, he's also been passing fraudulent gift certificates.
You can literally hear Oh, he's passing fraudulent shit. You can literally hear the desperation in this man's voice over what is going on right now. It is actually sad and pathetic, and it's funny to listen to.
Tickets to financially harmed.
Fraudulent gift certificates. Does he need the Guinness World Record?
Oh, I was so confused. I've watched that part like 5 or 6 times. I was like, what's he mean gift certificates?
Yeah, I think he means the world record certificate.
Ammon starts to hallucinate more things to throw at the officer here. So he's talking about fraudulent gift certificates, and Reckless Ben and his team were confused on what that meant. So they speculate that it must have been like the Guinness World Record like gag that they did, which is not what Ammon McNeff is claiming that it is, per usual. I think Ammon lives in like a separate dimension. Like his brain is just lost in the ether. It doesn't inhabit this corporeal dimension. It's not situated where it should.
That's what's going on. But at this point, I just need some information so I can tell our staff what is going on, because if I need to go and get some of my staff armed so that he can't threaten them, that's what I need to do. Or they're going to go find him and rearrest him because he clearly had to have violated some kind of rule. There's got to be something to stop this guy from continuing to intimidate our staff.
Bro's out here sniveling and drooling, freaking out like it's Jason Voorhees coming for him. What have you done? Oh, my staff, their lives hang in the balance. Their lives are in jeopardy. Now I'm going to have to go out there and save them because did you know I'm actually like a full-time superhero? So yeah, I'm going to scoot in sideways with my van. I'm going to tell the staff to hop on into the clown car here, and I'm going to take them back to my bat cave here to keep them safe and off the grid so Ben can't find them and eat them. Did you know he's a cannibal? He's going to feast on their flesh and bones if I left them out there in the wild. So yeah, I got to go protect my staff now and take them into the fucking bomb shelter. Like, bro, like there wasn't anything unusual about how Ben got out of jail. He paid the bond. Like, it's not, he went to jail on some pretty low-level bologna. Like, it's just, like, some fish paste type shit. So he just paid bond and got out. Like, if you're that upset about it, writing fanfic at this point now, take it up with a fucking judge, dude. Like, why are you calling officer action here, just random policeman about it to whine?
I don't know.
It's literally, you gotta give me something. You gotta tell, like, I'm scared of this guy. You gotta go get him back in there. That's kind of not how it works. He paid his way out. I'm sorry. I don't even know how to comment on this because it's just so stupid.
What has been done since he was arrested yesterday.
Sure.
Like, we all sighed a big sigh of relief this morning knowing that he was arrested last night. And then to have this happen all over again, like everyone's feeling some pretty significant trauma that he's just not going to stop.
Trauma.
Police or corrections that let him out. That's going to be a judge, right? And so that would be a complaint that would have to be directed towards their office to find out what's the deal. Why would you let this guy out when he's stalking us, right? That's
yeah. So yeah, really quick. Sorry, let me grab a pen. Who do I contact for that?
What's a judge to someone like Ammon McNeff? Ammon McNeff outranks a judge. The judge should be answering to him, and make no mistake, that judge is going to be getting an earful real soon from the Bricks and Minifigs top brass, no doubt, giving them a piece of Ammon's mind. In fact, a whole slice of Ammon's mind. So yeah, even the cops like, bro, this is like, you complain to a judge, man. Stop blabbering to me. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna do that because everyone's feeling so much trauma from Ben talking about Bricks and Minifigs and doing his gags and such.
He's like, dude, what are you talking to me about this for? Talk to the judge.
The police officer's like, we tried to keep him in jail until his court case for a month, but the stupid judge let him out. So like, don't complain to me, complain to the judge.
Yeah, what are you doing?
I suggest you put all evidence that you have against this guy on them.
He acts really like cutesy, like he's clearly got some form of sociopathic disorder. He lies through his teeth. He says and does whatever he can to just get away with whatever he wants. Again, multiple arrests, I think, in the past in different states.
So obviously, if you look in the police records, you can see that I've never been arrested before. But because Ammon said so, maybe the police will just listen to Ammon. You know,
his word every single time. They're taking his word over your evidence. Doesn't make any sense.
That is peculiar. That Ammon McNeff's word is law for some reason. He is just shitting out garbage, just gobbledygook, saying that Ben's been arrested multiple times when Ben is saying you can just check his criminal history. He's only been arrested in regards to the Bricks and Mini.
Also, I just want to quickly say, I assume this is the like some more of the body cam stuff that he got from the court case and all that, and he's actually just reviewing it. I was like, where did I was just trying to think, where did this come from? But that's gonna be my assumption.
Minifigs case, the first one being when trying to serve the court papers. So it's like he's provably unreliable with his claims. He is lying, and then he got the gall to start projecting like, oh, Ben is a sociopath who lies through his teeth to get what he wants and get away with whatever he wants. And it's like, damn, Ammon, is that so? Wow. Interesting.
Wow.
Coming from you, the guy who I think if the truth left his lips, it'd be like steam coming out because it would have lit his whole mouth on fire. It'd be so unusual to your body. It'd cause some kind of like visceral reaction internally. It's so odd. And I love that he like Reddit armchair psychologists for a moment, like LARPing there. He clearly has a sociopathic disorder. And this is something Ammon likes to do a lot, I guess, because he does it twice in this video. You'll see it in a later body cam where he starts to speculate about Ben's childhood and how he most likely or potentially could have been abused, which led to him becoming what he is today.
Which is crazy.
So fucking weird. Ammon is such a weirdo.
Because I can stack, I'll try to stack it on this stalking case. Okay, sir. I'm going to call the jail, and then I will meet you over there, okay?
Okay, perfect. See you there in a little bit.
Yep, bye. Hey, it's Abrams with Orem Police Department. How you doing? You guys let a guy go this morning. It sounds like he was released from the jail today.
Officer Abrams?
Yep.
Nice to meet you.
Yep.
It really does feel highly suspicious that so many officers are willing to just bend over for Ammon, constantly doing everything they can to just spread their cheeks and let Ammon have their way with them. Like, they will do...
Like I said, it's not just like, it's not like just a friendly thing. It's a community thing, and I hate to keep doing it, but it's the fucking Mormon thing. Like, they just stick together.
Whatever they can to appease him, whatever Ammon wants, the officers are always more than willing to oblige, going above and beyond to make sure Ammon gets his way. So, like, on body cam, the officer's like, yeah, we can start stacking this with the stalking stuff. Basically saying, like, we're going to keep reaching for more things to keep putting on here for you, Ammon, against Reckless Ben. Then they eventually, meet face-to-face here on the Tinder date. Very firm handshake. And we get even more incredible fanfic from Ammon.
He shouldn't be doing this stuff, right? You know what I mean? All 5 of them should be charged.
Basically what they're saying now is not only should we put Ben in jail for forever for trying to serve these court papers, we should put all 5 of his team members in jail for trying to take you guys to court. You guys don't deserve to go to court, and anyone that tries to take you to court, we're going to put them in jail indefinitely.
They started threatening to kill some of the staff. And so they're just like, hey,
no,
if
they
you don't,
didn't.
We're gonna kill you if you don't give this guy his money back and all this other stuff and like all these things. And so we're like, dude, like, you guys have to go through the appropriate legal channels. This guy has nothing to do with it.
So the officer seems pretty gung-ho about this idea that really all of them need to be charged. The whole kit and caboodle, actually, not just the ringleader, Ben. It's got to be all of them. Oh, okay, that's pretty extreme, don't you think? I don't know why you're so passionately here on Ammon's side when he has provided no fucking evidence, by the way. This officer has nothing from Ammon other than his fanfic that he keeps spinning.
Other than his word.
So anyway, now you can hear Ammon once again making his claim about how Ben and the crew were threatening to kill Bricks and Minifigs employees or associates. Which again, all of the evidence points to the contrary, that they never made any threats or anything like that. There is not a single shred of video, audio, anything to support Ammon's claims that there were threats being made on the lives of Bricks and Minifigs employees on behalf of Ben and his team. Like they were in there threatening to take their lives, slit their throats, that kind of thing. But he keeps saying it over and over and over and over again. He has to have said that shit like 100 times about how, they're threatening the lives of Bricks and Minifigs employees, even though he's never provided a shred, not even an iota of evidence to support that. But he keeps fucking saying it.
Other than he just gets off on making videos and like if you look him up again, he goes by the name of YouTube, and he films himself doing illegal things all the time, and then he gets his videos taken down, do all sorts of research on him. That's what we're dealing with, is a guy who had, like, honest to goodness, he's a sociopath. As we've done some additional searches on him, he has it appears that a relative of him, of his, because he's originally from Ohio and then he moved to LA, some relative of his with the same name, that, based on what we can piece together, was convicted.
I love how Ammon's done more research than the cops have done an actual investigation research, and now he's just spilling all this shit out, and we're just taking his word for it. Again, it's just insane. I don't get it.
Child porn or child, sexual contact, some of these other types of things. So there's a very real chance that he may have been abused as a child, but that set him through a mental disorder, kind of whatever the case may be. He's clearly a sociopath.
Oh my god, what a
My whole
fucking
family's pretty close, and I'm 99.999999999% sure that's not true. But if it is true, I would like to know who that is. So, because I would, that's probably important information for me if there is someone in my family that's like that. But
now Ammon's really getting into the minutia, psychoanalyzing Ben, building the profile, getting inside the mind of a psycho sociopath freak. So Ammon stared into the abyss, and he did some painstaking research of typing in Ben Schneider. But even that wasn't enough. It would be enough to satisfy most super sleuths, but not Ammon. Ammon goes the extra mile. He typed in Ben Schneider, Ohio. And what he found really painted the whole picture for him. So fucking Goober typed in Benjamin Schneider, Ohio, and found that someone was arrested there on some heinous charges, child porn, and made the connection that this guy might be related to Reckless Ben, might be in some ways part of the family, and thus there was a real chance that Reckless Ben was abused at this man's hands, which led to him becoming
It's just an
Reckless
outrageous
Ben.
reach.
You're insane. You're an actual lunatic, you know that, Ammon? What the fuck?
Just a really quick update. I think we found the guy that Ammon's talking about.
Athens man is sentenced after he was found guilty of 110 felony counts for recording and distributing child pornography from his home. Benjamin Schneider is sentenced to 8 years in prison.
So yeah, I guess this guy also got charged in Ohio, and he has a very similar name to me. It's actually the exact same name as me.
Ben then speculates if Ammon got confused thinking that they're related, the same person, that kind of thing. I imagine they're not related, because I think Reckless Ben probably would have known and would have said something there after he found this guy who got arrested. By the way, 8 years isn't nearly long enough for this kind of fucking gross degenerate. So I think that also needs to be revisited, and they need to up that time in jail a little bit, I would say. But anyway, so Ammon most likely found this guy, this Ben Schneider, and just assumed that they were related because they have the same name. That's watertight, Ammon. Wow. Very impressive detective work.
We know this guy's a sociopath, and so we're very afraid for our staff. Yes, sir. And these guys coming in, they've threatened people before. They don't care about the law, right? Right. And that's what makes us very scared, is because again, and I'm kind of asking a serious question. In your opinion, would you go get a shotgun and bring it in the store?
he keeps asking you're the police officers, do you think it's a good idea that we should have guns to defend ourselves next time Reckless Ben comes in, right? I think what he's trying to do is, because Josh Johnson said he was going to shoot us just for trying to serve him papers.
He keeps reiterating this is a sociopath now that he's on the loose again, this mad dog off the leash. Officer, do you think, in your professional opinion, if this was you, would you carry a shotgun in the store just in case they come around stirring up trouble again?
Oh.
So what he's doing, and it's something Ben talks about, is he's laying the groundwork for this self-defense angle, he's harassing us, we're all very fearful, he keeps threatening our lives, did you know he keeps saying he's gonna kill us? So officer, what if we had a shotgun here, and well, what if he comes back around and we happen to use it because it gets hairy, we get scared? So he's trying to just plant that seed.
A little scary, but
In a situation like this where some people we feel like are in danger.
I personally encourage people who are able to carry legally to carry.
Okay, so that's basically all the footage after I got arrested of them freaking out, and I think that kind of explains why, because a few hours later we do the GoFundMe. Sheldon gets arrested just for promoting this GoFundMe, and then they sent a whole SWAT team of police officers to my house to just arrest everyone.
So that's the end of the director's cut of body cam footage here, showcasing Emmett McNeff being a giant pussy and stupid asshole who loves to just lie perpetually here to the officers. So I think this, like, it doesn't change anything going on with, like, the overall scandal. It's just more insight into how Emmett McNeff conducts himself and the way in which he lies to officers to keep trying to have Ben and Ben's team, by extension, arrested. Like, he is trying to utilize every trick in the book to keep them in jail. And it's just fucking ridiculous. And it just showcases what a evil, gross man he is, honestly. And I also, we get to see some shining talent in his ability to psychoanalyze people. Did you see the way Emmett McNeff was able to really soul read Ben there? Like, he diagnosed him with a sociopathic disorder, even got into his childhood about how there's a very real chance he was abused that led to this. Like, wow, Emmett is a very talented guy. Unbelievable that he's able to do that.
Such a compassionate man.
On top of torpedoing a multi-million-dollar business like Bricks and Minifigs. So anyway, this was just some more additional Bricks and Minifigs degeneracy here that Reckless Ben and his team were able to showcase through this body cam. And it is still an ongoing issue, so Ben is still currently engaged in the litigious fight here with Bricks and Minifigs, so he is still, of course, putting out new content and such, and also on his Patreon, uploading more content there as well. So I'm still very glued to this story. It is impressive.
Same.
Just how
I'm
much
trying
of
to
a
keep up with
dweeb
it and watch it here.
McNuts is, bro. It's crazy. Anyway, that's really about it. So, yeah.
All right. So I think I said most of my points during the actual video itself, but literally, what I don't understand all the lies. I don't understand I just don't understand. Like, why are we digging this hole so deep and causing this problem for ourselves? Really, it's actually insane. I don't get it. I hope this gets solved with Bricks and Minifigs just absolutely eating shit and eating their words and getting their comeuppance, and Ben and Brian getting the results they deserve. There'll probably be another video on this channel about that. But yeah, so that's Bricks and Minifigs follow up.